Hi, my name is Brandon Tai. I'm a biomechanical engineering student here at CSU, and today I'm going to show you guys how to design and print some 3D parts. Now, the first step is ideation. You have to decide what you want your part to do or what kind of purpose it needs to serve. I already thought of something simple I'll make for you guys, so that step's done. The next step is going to be solid modeling. I use a CAD software, computer-aided drafting software known as SolidWorks, as you can see over here. Now, the first part of solid modeling is coming up with a 2D sketch. I choose a plane to work with, choose a shape to draw with, and there you go. I have a two-dimensional box. I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensions onto that to define them to the size I want. Now that I have a two-dimensional sketch right here, I can do what's called extrusion. And what that is basically doing is taking a two-dimensional sketch and bringing it up a third direction to make it three-dimensional. And so I'm going to do an extruded boss base with this, make it 20 millimeters, and there you have it, a box turned into a cube. Now, I can continue to edit this some. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple things to it real fast. So my first sketch was on a main plane. Each of these new sketches I'm making right now are actually on the three-dimensional surface, a surface of the three-dimensional object that I made before. There we go. Now I got three two-dimensional circles on each face of a three-dimensional cube. The next thing I'm going to do is another feature similar to extrusion, but reverse. It's called an extruded cut. And there we go. It essentially takes my two-dimensional shape and makes it three-dimensional, but instead of adding material, here we're just cutting it away. And there you have it. A pretty quick, pretty simple, easy to make 3D object. Now that we have this, the next step is actually saving it as an STL file. So I'm going to go up here to the top, save my part as, let's just call it cube.stl. Basically what this is doing is turning my three-dimensional geometry into a set of vectors so that another software program can easily read it and understand it. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is called slicing. I'm going to slice the model using this cleverly named software slicer. And basically what it is taking my 3D model that I made earlier and turning it into instructions for my printer to follow. So I'm going to open Cube, here we go, and there it is. It's really important the settings you choose and the way you decide to print. There's 100 different things you can do, maybe even thousands of settings and adjustments you can make, and a lot of them aren't going to allow your part to print properly. So you have to make sure you've selected the right material, which PLA is what I generally use, the right infill percentage, which is just how dense the object is filled up. You have to make sure you have the right temperatures and speeds, heat settings, all kinds of things. And after you have everything adjusted properly and your part positioned the way you like, you can do down here what's called slicing. So I'm going to slice now. And what that did is it turned my part into multiple layers. And if you go through and look at each layer, you can see what each individual layer is going to look like as it prints. Everything looks good to me. So the last thing I'm going to do right here, after slicing, is export my G-code. And the reason we do that is because the software we use to actually run the printer needs instructions, and that's basically what these are. So I'll save it in this file right here. Now that we've exported our G-code, the next step is to print. I'll open Prunterface as my printer software I use. I'm going to load a file. Right here is Cube, 15mm PLA MK3 .mg code. Open that up. And we're ready to go. All I need to do is connect the printer and print. That was a real general rough overview of how to design a part and print. You can imagine that things go into much more detail, but if you follow those 4 main steps, you should be able to get from the beginning to the end phase of your project. Thank you, and have a nice day.